The National Investigation Agency has arrested the two main suspects in the Rameshwaram cafe blast that happened in Bengaluru. The arrest happened in Digha in Bengal, which is about 3 hours away from Kolkata. The two accused are Abdul Mateen Taha, who is said to be the mastermind, and Musawir Hussain Shahzeb, who is the alleged bomber, the man who placed the bomb in the Rameshwaram cafe in East Bangalore. But the fact that these terrorists were arrested after a 40-day chase, which led all the way from Karnataka through Telangana, and then finally they were picked up in Bengal, that has led to all-out politics between the BJP and the Trinamool Congress. The BJP has accused Mamata Banerjee's government of being soft on terror, that this is evidence that Bengal is becoming a safe haven for terrorists. The TMC, on the other hand, has hit back saying that the Bengal police were also involved in this operation, that it was a joint operation with the NIA and the Bengal police, and that the BJP should stop politicizing things like national security. But first, let's bring you the story of how a 42-day-long chase by the NIA eventually landed them the big fish, the alleged mastermind of the blast and the alleged bomber himself.
ಅವ್ರ ಡ್ಯೂಟಿ ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾವು ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾದಂಥ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಯಾರು ತಪ್ಪಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಈಚೆಗೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಬರಲಿ.
सवाल तो ये उत्पन्न होता है कि पश्चिम बंगाल हर प्रकार के आतंकी और जिहादी और इस प्रकार के उग्रवादी मानसिकता रखने वाले व्यक्तियों के लिए एक सेफ हेवन, एक अड्डा क्यों बन चुका है।
विदिन 2 आवर्स, 2 घंटे में ही इंफॉर्मेशन मिलने का 2 घंटे में हम लोग पूरा वर्कआउट करके जो रामेश्वरम ब्लास्ट है उनके 2 जो सस्पेक्ट थे उनको हम डिटेन कर पाए।
2 ঘন্টায় বাংলায় লুকিয়ে ছিল, 2 ঘন্টার মধ্যে আমরা ধরে দিয়েছি আমাদের পুলিশ। আর সেখানে বলছে বাংলা সেফ নয়, তোর দিল্লি সেফ।
All right, let me now open this up to our guests. Who's playing politics over something like terrorists and the fact that terrorists were picked up by the NIA in Bengal? Let me now go across to our guests who are joining us. Sanju Verma is national spokesperson of the BJP. L. Hanumantaiah is former Rajya Sabha member of Parliament of the Congress. Riju Datta is spokesperson of the TMC. Yashwardhan Azad is former IPS officer and special director with the Intelligence Bureau. Sanju Verma, let me start with you. Yes, these two men had to be picked up, and they were picked up by the NIA, so kudos to the agency. The Bengal government is saying that the Bengal police were also involved. This was a joint operation, and within 2 hours, the moment they got information, they helped in this joint operation and helped pick up these two, the mastermind and the bomber. Why is the BJP politicizing and saying that Bengal is becoming a safe haven for terrorists?
You know, Zaka, at the very outset, let me tell you that if the West Bengal police has cooperated with the National Investigation Agency, the NIA, then, kudos to both the West Bengal State Police and, of course, the NIA, which has spearheaded the entire operation. I will never sit and undermine the credibility of any investigation agency, unlike the opposition, which has made it a habit to malign the Enforcement Directorate, the CBI, the CID, the NIA, what have you. Point number 1. Point number 2, for all those who keep asking, what is the success rate of ED? What is the success rate of NIA? Please note that the success rate of the NIA is more than 96.7%, which means that they've been doing an excellent job in the last couple of years. Point number 3, the reason why the BJP has accused the Trinamool Congress and especially the Mamata Banerjee-led regime for making West Bengal a safe haven for terrorists is simply this. You look at Howrah, Hooghly, Murshidabad, Uttar Dinajpur, North 24 Parganas, especially North 24 Parganas, which is where Shah Jahan Sheikh was hiding for 58 long days before finally he had to surrender. After there was a court judgment saying that this man should surrender, or he should be pulled out from wherever he was hiding. It is not the BJP. It is not Sanju Verma. The Kolkata High Court and in fact the Supreme Court has castigated Mamata Banerjee, who is not only the Chief Minister but also the de facto Home Minister of West Bengal, not once during the Shah Jahan Sheikh slash Sandesh Khali case, but even otherwise. If you recall, last April, we had the Ram Navami, and we had so much of violence, and Mamata Banerjee said, "Kuch hua hi nahi." Panchayat Power violence in June 2023, where the Supreme Court told Mamata Banerjee, the license to hold elections does not mean a license to violence. Mamata Banerjee said, "Kuch hua hi nahi." Hansa Khali gang rape, Mamata Banerjee said, "Kuch hua hi nahi." Though TMC councillor's son was responsible.
Okay.
Birbhum, 12 people were charged to death. And Mamata Banerjee says, "Kuch hua hi nahi." So it is this attitude of rationalizing violence, rationalizing terror, making Murshidabad a cottage industry of crude bombs. This is what the BJP is up against.
So let Riju Datta respond to that. The fact that after a 40-day chase, these two men were picked up in Digha, 3 hours away from Kolkata, the BJP is saying that's evidence enough that the Mamata Banerjee government is being soft on terror, that Bengal is becoming a haven for terror, and the point that Sanju Verma made, whether it is Murshidabad and a cottage industry for crude bombs, and whether it is places like Malda, where always we have seen violence. Even in this election cycle, we are seeing violence in places like Kuch Bihar. Bengal has become a haven for violence and violent activities and those who indulge in violence. Riju.
Look, Zakha, when the country is going through the highest unemployment and price rise, and the Prime Minister chooses to talk about veg and non-veg, their spokespersons will talk like this on national TV. Is quite understandable if the Prime Minister indulges into such frivolous arguments. Now, coming to the most important part, if TMC is going to nab terrorists, if TMC is going to stop cow smuggling across the border between India and Bangladesh, if TMC is going to be responsible for controlling illegal immigration from Bangladesh to India, then has the Prime Minister Narendra Modi resigned, or has Amit Shah resigned because of their sheer incompetence? I don't understand this. This is the job of the union government. Either they resign or they put their hand up and say that we are incompetent, we cannot do anything. Point number one. Point number two. It is the duty of the Bengal police, the state government and the ruling party to aid the union government and the central agencies in matter of national security. We have always done that. We will always do that. We don't want it. We never wanted any politics over it. It is these some absolute jobless of the BJP that have to put out some tweets to bring politics into it. My question is this: when you have brought politics into this, my question is this: who was the Lok Sabha MP from Kathi that these two terrorists are nabbed from? Shishir Adhikari. Who is Shishir Adhikari? The father of Shubhendu Adhikari, the leader of opposition of West Bengal. Who is Shubhendu Adhikari? The leader of opposition of West Bengal. ED CBI charge sheet mentioned in Sharada Narada case, resides in East Midnapur. Who is the MP candidate from BJP from East Midnapur where these terrorists are nabbed? Shubhendu Adhikari's own brother.
What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say, Riju? Are you trying to say that these guys were parachuted from Bengaluru to East Midnapur?
Can I finish?
Yeah, I'm asking.
Non-BJP state. Calcutta, West Bengal is a non-BJP state. If they are going into all this, what about all this rubbish? Then I can also say that it is the Adhikari family and Shubhendu Adhikari who's providing safe haven and shelter to terrorists who are against this in the union government in their own backyard. Let them first. Let Amit Shah and Narendra Modi ask their leader of opposition what are terrorists in his backyard.
No. I'm still not understanding the point you're making. But anyway, let me go to the other two guests also. I've got Mr. Hanumantaiah and Yasho Azad also joining us. Mr. Hanumantaiah, the point again is this: that yes, when the blast happened, your Deputy Chief Minister initially came out and said that, we are looking into it. This doesn't seem like the handiwork of terrorists, so on and so forth. And then, of course, the NIA took over the case, and when it was evident that IEDs were involved and that this is the act of terrorists, that's when even the state government there started taking this seriously. And now the fact that it took 40 days and these people were traversing through multiple places, hideouts, we have the entire trail, how after the blast, both the accused, they stayed in guest houses or lodges. The NIA tracked the purchase of the cap to a store in Chennai. Then they were staying in lodges as well as guest houses in places like Telangana as well as Odisha. And finally, they were nabbed in Bengal, eventually in a town called Digha. The point that the BJP is making and supporters of the BJP are making is that, opposition is being soft on terror, right from where this incident happened to where these people were finally picked up. All happen to be opposition ruled states because there's a culture of being soft on terror and appeasement towards one community that you and your government are alleged to be indulging in.
No, your question is, they were nabbed after 58 days. In a country like this, where 140 crore people are there, vast geographical area, anybody who commits these kind of mistakes can escape and hide for some days, and thanks to NIA that they have done a good job, they have nabbed them. That is point number one. And where he has hidden, that is not the question at all, because whether it is West Bengal or in Karnataka itself or neighboring Kerala or wherever, that question doesn't arise here, because even the community which he belongs to or somebody else, the question is, who is a terrorist? He is a terrorist. He has no caste, he has no creed, he has no religion. That is the stand that India has taken from so many years, and today also. We are punishing anybody who has been nabbed now. So that should be the question. We should not ask that it has been taken over in West Bengal, so West Bengal government is responsible for keeping them. That is not the correct answer. You should not think on those lines.
No,
That
but
is,
Mr. Hanumanthaiah, this is precisely the problem,
sir,
right? That
tell me.
you are refusing to call this Islamist terror. That is what it is. Exactly. These guys are part of the ISIS Shivamoga module. They are killing not for economic reasons or caste reasons. They are killing in the name of religion. Why are you, shy of calling it what it is?
No. See, in India, terrorist can be anybody and any religion. We should treat them as terrorist only and not by their religion. It can be any religion. That should not be the criteria of us while nabbing them and punishing them. We should treat them as terrorists, trial them and punish them. That is what we have to do. Just because he belongs to one community or one religion, we could not accuse them for that.
No, nobody is accusing the community. No, one second. Let's be very clear about it. Nobody is accusing the community. The issue is there an atmosphere of appeasement or atmosphere where one particular community is appeased to? Therefore, elements like this prop up. And like I said, I mean, even now, Mr. Hanumanthaiah, the way you are, almost being equanimous about it, suggests that why are you not willing to call a spade a spade? This is Islamist terrorism.
No, I will answer your question. I will answer your question, my friend. See, because he belongs to some religion, you cannot accuse a political party which has ruled this country for a long time and punished lot of terrorists, nabbed them and control this country so well. You cannot accuse them they are doing some appeasement. See, if the appeasement is your accusation by any political party, it is not correct, it is not justified. According to me, whether it is Congress or it is BJP or it is the coalition government of secular parties, nobody is appeasing any political party on the basis of terrorist activities.
Okay, let me ask Yashwardhan Azad.
One second. Never compromised.
Yashwardhan Azad. Again, I am willing to meet Mr. Hanumanthaiah's argument halfway. Yes, we should not give it a religious color. Yes, we should not politicize it just because there are a few bad apples, and there are bad apples in every community, no doubt about it. Therefore, you can't paint everyone with a broad brush. I'm willing to buy that argument, at least meet him halfway on that argument. The problem is that ISIS is not killing because there's an economic disparity in this country, or ISIS's philosophy is not because some people belong to a certain caste and other people belong to a different caste. ISIS has a very, very specific ideology. They are killing in the name of religion. And by refusing to call that out, by refusing to say it as it is, we are, dilly-dallying around the problem.
Well, let me start at the very outset, say that it's an act of pure Islamist terror. Now, the problem with the politicians, statesmen is that they are totally colored by their own party vision. In fact, we had a discussion immediately after the blast, you remember, Zaka, where you had asked me. And I said that the timing of the blast, the mechanics of the way the whole operation has gone, clearly leaves the stamp of a professional hand. And maybe it could be the PFI, maybe it could be the IS. Now it is revealed that obviously even the financing could have been through cryptocurrency. And you realize that through the navigating through the states, there was such a huge conspiracy because from cells to the facilitation was provided by a particular group. So once this is established that it has the stamp, it has a terrorist hand, I think politics should shun away from these things. The other problem is, it's very, very unfortunate to say that because a terrorist has been, caught from a particular place, to call it the haven of terrorists is absolutely wrong, because where you have the sleeper cells today, Zaka, you will know tomorrow where they emerge, and they could be emerging from various states itself.
Okay.
Third thing, which is very, very important, Zaka, we must realize that this is an act not by NIA alone. NIA has done a brilliant job, there is no doubt. Let me also say, NIA was helmed by a brilliant officer earlier, Dinkar Gupta, who's handed over to an equally brilliant man, Sadanand Date, who's come from Maharashtra. In this particular case, look at the hand of the various state governments. You said that they went through various lodges and state guest houses. This was the backup given by the various state governments, and ultimately it was the West Bengal government which gave the cooperation. And mind you, in non-political matters, even today, the cooperation between the state police and the central police is excellent. It only happens in cases where you have a political element involved when you get into these problems. So the first thing, even that day I had said, Zaka, if you remember, that no politician should give an incident after a terrorist blast, because this is purely the job of the professionals.
Yeah.
And that should always be kept in mind.
So again, I come back to that point, Sanjay Verma, for two reasons. One, just because they were picked up in Bengal doesn't mean that the state has become a safe haven. It's like saying if they were picked up in Madhya Pradesh, then can you extend that argument and say that Madhya Pradesh has become a safe haven? That's number one. And number two, the point that Yasho Azad made, I think it's a classic study in contrast. Just 2 or 3 days ago, we had that incident where the ED team was attacked. Yasho Azad's point is that's a political case, and that's why you're seeing friction between center and state. Today, what we saw is a classic example of cooperation between center and state and various agencies, one the central agency, the other the state agency, because it's a non-political one, it's an apolitical issue, it's an issue of national security. Please answer both of those points.
Zaka, first and foremost, I want to thank you for calling out the bluff of radical Islamist terror. And I also want to thank Mr. Azad, because he also spoke about radical Islamist threat. Because, I think for some strange reason, we have as a civic community, and this is for a moment keeping my political ideology aside, I don't understand this business of mollycoddling radicals, and why are we so scared to name and shame radical Islamist, which is one of the biggest threats. I mean, be it the Coimbatore, cylinder blast in October 2022, be it the cooker blast in November 2022, be it the Kannur Express, blast in April 2023. There was one thing common in all these incidents, including the very recent Rameshwaram Cafe blast. All these terror incidents were the handiwork of the ISIS. In fact, in the case of the Coimbatore blast, which happened in October 2022, the man killed himself. He was a suicide bomber, Jamesha Mubin. And, I remember Congress leaders saying, "Arey kuch hua hi nahi." Dinesh Gundu Rao said, "Why are we blaming ISIS or any radical outfit? When there is no proof." And when it was found out that Jamesha Mubin's residence was full of ISIS graffiti, where he clearly admitted that he is a radical, then the Congress zipped it. I also remember very recently, when Nasir Hussain was elected as a member of Rajya Sabha from Karnataka, there were chants of Pakistan Zindabad, Pakistan Zindabad. And when the BJP brought this to the attention of the general public, the BJP was trolled saying, "Oh, you people have a myopic vision. You're trying to, colorize this entire thing." Later, forensic evidence revealed that indeed, Pakistan Zindabad slogans were raised on the floor of the Karnataka Assembly. What can be more shameful? This is a classic example of normalizing terror. But I have one very important point to make. Forget about what Sanju Verma is saying or Zaka Jacob is saying or Mr. Yashovardhan Azad is saying. What does the United Nations report of 22-23 say? It says that 9 out of 10 terror outfits in the world have a radical Islamist DNA. That is the phrase used by the United Nations. And they say right from Lashkar-e-Toiba to Boko Haram to Jamaat-ud-Dawa to ISIS to Jaish-e-Mohammed, to the Hezbollah, they all have a radical Islamist DNA, which the Congress and the Trinamool Congress fail to recognize. Do you forget, Zaka, who's the candidate from Bashirhat for the Trinamool Congress? Could they find no one better? It is a man called Haji Nurul Islam, who was involved in the 2010 Deganga riots in West Bengal. He took a 45,000 strong crowd and attacked the police station in Deganga.
Okay.
And we have a Rekha Patra, a woman who was the victim of Sandesh Khali riots. There you have a classic contrast of how Mamata Banerjee, by nominating a Haji Nurul Islam, showcases that she sympathizes with radicals. She's given a free run to go India.
Riju, respond to that point about your candidate from Bashirhat. But more than that, the larger point also. You brought in and said, if the central government has failed in curbing terror, then the Home Minister should resign, so on and so forth. Let's do a straight-up comparison. The record of 10 years of UPA when it comes to terror and the record of 10 years of NDA when it comes to terror. In fact, one of the things that the NDA has managed to achieve, to give it credit, is reduce the number of terror incidents. You remember when UPA was in power, the Indian Mujahideen, virtually every week there was a blast from Delhi to Jaipur to Mumbai. We don't see that. That's not the case anymore in the last 10 years.
Zaka, you're a very senior journalist, and I'm sorry to have to give you these incidents just to jog your memory and the memory of your viewers. Kandahar hijack, BJP government. Akshar attack, BJP government. Raghunath temple attack. Kargil, parliament attack, number 1. Parliament attack, number 2. Amarnath attack, Godhra riot, Pathankot attack, UAE attack, Pulwama attack. All during
Talk about Sandesh Khali, Riju Datta. Why is Mamata Banerjee mollycoddling Sandesh Khali?
Nobody can lie. Narendra Modi and Amit Shah, the two most incompetent people this country has ever seen.
The most incompetent chief minister.
Okay, can I speak now, Doctor?
One second, please. One second, one at a time, please. Sanju ji, please. Let him make his point, please. One at a time, yeah.
Can you show some sympathy for
Riju Datta to continue, please. Riju Datta to continue,
Thank you. I have listed out on your show all the terrorist attacks that happened in the country when BJP government was in power, and nobody can, rebut that. Point number 1. Point number 2. Nobody, see, the problem is a terrorist is a terrorist. He belongs from Lashkar-e-Taiba, Mujahideen or whoever. They should be, I don't know what to do. Shoot them, kill them, put them behind bars and throw away the key. My problem here is this. When BJP uses a terrorist attack for political dividends, the NIA nabbed them. Fantastic, I applaud them. The Bengal police, after they have got information from NIA, assisted the NIA in a joint operation and nabbed these 2 people in 2 hours. And the first thing BJP does is, BJP does politics over it. And BJP tries to do this Hindu-Muslim thing over a terrorist attack. A terrorist is a terrorist attack. If the terrorist attack has taken in Karnataka, if you are bringing the Karnataka government to book, then it is Amit Shah also who has failed to keep the people of Karnataka
talking about Amit Shah.
Yeah, I'll give you a chance to respond. But what about the question? What about the question on Haji Nurul Islam?
Haji, see, if Haji Nurul Islam is not a communal person. Whatever BJP has said, why doesn't BJP go to court against Haji Nurul Islam? And it is rich coming from BJP when they have a terrorist called Pragya Thakur who's accused in the Malegaon blast sitting in the parliament on their
Okay.
behalf. So it's very rich coming from
Okay,
them.
you can give ticket to Sadhvi Pragya Thakur. Why can't BJP TMC give to Haji Nurul Islam? Yeah, Sanju Verma.
You know, Zaka, what I find absolutely hilarious is when, now let me come in, you had your say, Riju. Zaka, I find it absolutely hilarious that, you know, an incompetent Mamta Banerjee, when her spokespeople come on national TV and give lectures on morality, integrity and ethics to BJP. Let me remind the viewers of your show, Zaka, because I think they are the most important stakeholders in this debate. 2016 Malda riots under incompetent Mamta Banerjee. 2017 Bhaduria riots under incompetent Mamta Banerjee. 2018 Asansol riots under incompetent Mamta Banerjee. 2019 Jadavpur riots under incompetent Mamta Banerjee. 2021 Sitakulchi riots under incompetent Mamta Banerjee. 2023 Panchayat Poll violence under incompetent Mamta Banerjee. 2022, who can forget the Birbhum violence under incompetent Mamta Banerjee. So Mamta Banerjee and her acolytes have not covered themselves in glory when the BJP decided that the BSF's jurisdiction should be expanded to the bordering areas of West Bengal to curb infiltration. Mamta Banerjee was rattled. Why? Because she does not want that the illegal Rohingyas who are being given a free run by her, they should be nabbed. Why does Mamta Banerjee give a free run to illegal migrants, to illegal Rohingyas?
Okay.
And
Okay.
then she should be
I want to
allowed
get to the concluding part. I want to get to the concluding part. Hanumantayya and then Yashu Azad to close out. Hanumantayya, now these people have got 3-day transit remand. They will be brought back to Bengaluru. They will be put on trial. But the point is, again, the BJP is saying, whether it is in Karnataka or in Bengal, opposition ruled states are giving an atmosphere where terrorism, if not thriving, is certainly it is being condoned. It is being looked the other way.
No, it is absolutely wrong. Whether it is Karnataka or it is West Bengal or it is Delhi or it is Bombay, it doesn't matter. How we trial them and what are the evidence that we are going to get to the case and how to trial them and how to punish them is the question. And the same judges and the NIA will be the national body which is under the control of the Government of India. How can they raise these kind of questions that in Karnataka or in West Bengal it will going to be supported to those kind of things, and it is absolutely wrong. I don't agree with it.
Okay, Yashwardhan Azad, to close out. The concern is, and I think Sanju Verma sort of alluded to this, this is not an incident in isolation. It's not like the Rameshwaram cafe blast happened just suddenly in isolation. You had the Coimbatore cylinder blast, you had the Mangalore pressure cooker blast, and now this. Now, admittedly, it seems like all of these guys were operating from one module. This is what we know of one module. We don't know how many other modules are out there. Isn't that a concern?
Absolutely right, Zaka, and I'm glad you said it. There are 2 points I want to make while closing out. The first is that this is an excellent investigation. And from this investigation, as you said, they are being brought on remand, we'll get to know a lot of things, how these cells are now operating in terms of terror finance, whether cryptocurrency has been used or not. In that respect, it's going to be a very exciting kind of findings by the investigators in India today, whether cryptocurrency has come of age in terror financing. That is number one. Number two is, of all these sleeper cells which are operating across the southern states, and mind you, the coastal region of Karnataka needs a special look. I appeal to the politicians to forget and keep aside the differences, but look at the terrorist modules very closely and allow their intelligence agencies to work. So we will get a complete idea of how the cells are operating in the sense of cooperation. Mind you, it started with the SIMI cadres, and when SIMI was banned, they went to PFI. Yeah. And when NIA took a lot of action against the PFI and PFI was banned, then they moved over to the IS. So today, the second point which I want to make, Zaka, is that now our concern should be for the future. on national security issues, let the state forces combine and cooperate, because we don't know about the LET, sleeper cells. We have to take care of the Islamist terror threat, which is emerging from the IS angle, the Khorasan province. There are so many things which are happening, and that can only happen if the state agencies are allowed to cooperate. We should have a regular meetings, and in fact, the politicians, which I mean the executives, the chief minister, should encourage this kind of a cooperation.
All right, we'll leave it at that. We'll see how this plays out. Like I said, they're in transit remand. They'll be brought to Bengaluru, produced before a magistrate, and that's when we'll get more details of this entire module and how it operated and how the investigating agencies, after this 40-plus day chase, finally tracked these two. One, the alleged mastermind, the other, the alleged bomber at the Rameshwaram Cafe blast.